Hello again. The most successful people that I coach aren't really the ones that do the perfect sessions. They're the ones that think about what they're doing but consistently execute something. They're consistently doing something that's reasonable, and they get things done. So rather than maybe thinking about, am I tired? Do I need to have a break rather than do this interval session or something like that? Then in most cases, they get something done that's approximating to the planned training. And if they can't do it on a certain day, then they might move it to another day, maybe when they're more rested or it's more appropriate. But often it's better to just stick as closely as possible to the plan and not overthink it. So they don't overthink it. They think about trying to optimize their routines rather than adjusting sessions and things day to day. So this really shows that consistency is the most important factor. And that's what I've found over time, is that being consistent and doing something roughly right consistently over weeks, months, years is where the fitness builds and compounds, because fitness is like putting money in the bank. It's like savings. When you put €5, $5, £5 into the bank every week, in a month you've got 20 euros, dollars, pounds, plus interest, because it's sort of all compounding, and the more you have, the more you can build. So effectively that means the fitter you are, the faster you can go, the harder you can go, and the more stimulus you can produce, obviously within limits. More is not always better, but something is usually better than nothing. So it's not a case of judging each session as being good or bad. It's a case of just, get the sessions done, get something done, and that'll build onto the next session. And have a rest, focus on rest consistently, treat training and rest as both vital elements of building your fitness. So you've got the training, you have to train hard, you need to have to train hard enough to create a stimulus to build fitness, to upset your body so that it wants to adapt. But then that adaptation process takes place when you're resting, when you're recovering. And interestingly enough, I'm just reading a book called Rest by Alex Sujong Kim Pang. Sorry if I haven't pronounced your name correctly, if you ever watch this video. And it's not about training at all. It's about work and optimized performance. And it talks about a lot of famous and very successful people like Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens, and others. And it talks about two things. One thing is work, the hard work. People work hard, successful people work hard, but they work hard in blocks, focused blocks of what they call deliberate practice. So this 10,000 hours that people talk about to become an expert is 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. The people who are successful and improve the most focus on being deliberate about what they're doing. But what's often glossed over is the rest, deliberate recovery. And it does a study of famous musicians or successful musicians, the most successful musicians at an academy. And the most successful ones practice deliberately in focused blocks, but also they plan their recovery in focused blocks and plan so that they have an effective recovery. So it's focused training that's consistent with a plan, the best you can do on any given day, but you make sure you do it, and focused rest along with a plan that you make to make sure you get enough rest and consistently get enough rest. And obviously focus on nutrition as well. We just started working with Hexis, which is a brilliant nutritional tool. It's not just a tracker, it's a planner, and it adjusts automatically as you do your training with each training session, or as you log a meal. If you haven't hit the nutritional targets for that particular meal, then it makes an adjustment such that the next meal compensates for that. So it seems good at first. We've only been using it for a few days, but check it out. I'll put the link in the description. And then, of course, it has to be individual. So deliberate practice, deliberate rest. But what you need, what do you need? You need to make these things tailored for you. And that's one of the things I do working as a coach. When I first start working with somebody, I don't really change anything. I just look at what they've done, keep doing roughly what, unless there's something really radically not quite right, We just continue working as they are. I observe, we interact, and people make comments, and then adjustments are made based on individual needs. And that's what you should do for yourself. Think about your individual needs. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? Where can you make the biggest improvements? It might be that your training is pretty good, but you're not having enough recovery, so you're not able to train hard. You're not able to do the sessions as well as you could do. Or it might be that something simple like your bike setup could be changed, and you can just get faster just by, not by getting any fitter, but just by doing something a little bit differently. So think about the things around your training as well as the things in your training. Often I have a real world example, so to try and put it into some sort of context. And personally, my personal experience is that I've been much more successful. Now I seem to be an old man and old and slow, but in the past when I was won a few races as a runner, I found that the most effective times were when I just sort of slipped into a really good routine. And that routine once was I realised I could actually run to and from work, and I continued doing that for a long time, and I built fitness very quickly because necessarily my volume went up a little bit because it was a bit further than I really thought I could do to get to and from work. And then I continued that when I changed jobs. I managed to use public transport to combine public transport and travel to work, and then I cycled to work because I went into cycling because I got injured as a runner. And for me, that worked really well. It promoted a consistent routine. Routines work really well because you can learn from them. If you're tired on Tuesdays and you don't want to be tired on Tuesdays because you've got an interval session, then you either have to move the interval session to perhaps Wednesdays, or when you might not be tired, or make sure you're not tired on Tuesdays. So you might have to change what you do at the weekend, or you might have to change what you do on Mondays. So, but once you can get a routine, you can get the consistency there and build habits, and good habits are what create good performances. So I hope you found this useful. Just a quick video, start things off again, the way I think about things. And if you like these type of quick tips, we have our 3, 2, 1, 3 insights, 2 quotes, 1 question for you, and a real world example newsletter for the Friday Focus every Friday. You can sign up for that in the link in the description. And obviously, if you want me to help you as a coach or join one of our groups, our EBR Cycling Club, our EBR Women's Club, or our EBR Running Club, then just look on our website and follow the link in the description. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.